Welcome everyone to our Getting Ready for State Leadership Conference and STAR Events webinar. We have lots of exciting updates and things to look forward to. So we are going to kick it off. We have some members of our board of directors and our conference planning staff here with us today. And to get us started, I'm going to introduce your state advisor, Miss Melissa Webb.
Thank you, Bevan, and welcome everyone who's able to be with us today live. We had over maybe 55, 60 people registered, but we know some of you are still teaching or en route to get home, so we have this recorded for you today. So on behalf of the FCCLA State Officer Team, they are also still in class. They are not able to be here, but I wanted to extend greetings on their behalf as we continue with our wonderful Dare to Dream. We have been daring to dream a lot this year. We have a new board who is making so many great efforts to make this year's State Leadership Conference the best that we can. And we also I looked at membership numbers just a minute ago. We are sitting at 17,274 members, about only 37 pending, so not too bad. Our goal this year was to reach 20,000. So my ask from all of you is if you have registered or already paid for your up to 25 unlimited, please go in and fill those spots because you've already paid. You can continue to affiliate all the way until May 31st. And National FCCLA is also hitting a record membership, and they would love to have those numbers. I think they're almost to 250,000. So everyone, if every state does their part, we are all doing well. So with me, our presenters today, I have Pat Peck. She will be going over our FCCLA State Star Chairperson updates and everything related to STAR events. Bevan Cassidy, as most of you know, she's our new professional development coordinator, and she will also be providing some updates in regards to the new advisor workshop and our Say Yes to FCS ceremony. Mr. James Oviatt, FCCLA past board president, will also be at state conference and has some updates for you about our conference app. And Tracy Brown, our FCCLA webmaster and SLC staff, is also on to answer any questions. And Beth Betancourt is on. She had an appointment, but is listening and will be fielding questions if you have any for her as well. So some of our topics for today is to talk about the program, highlights, schedule, some ideas for you on effective chapter management, looking over the schedule into a little bit more detail and all the different activities on the different days. Our FCCLA official dress requirements, in particular our code of conduct, which is really important as we want our students to be on their best professional FCCLA behavior at the event. And then Pat Peck will go over all of our STAR updates. We have updates about National Leadership Conference, which is just around the corner as well. I have updates for you on our FCCLA business session, and I saved that towards the end of the presentation so we can kind of look over the state bylaw amendments and maybe answer any questions you may have regarding those. So, James, I'm going to turn the baton over to you.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Hi, James Oviatt, past state officer here. Want to just let you know that as of today, the app for the state leadership state leadership conference is live. So what we're going to do is we're going to encourage everyone just for your students to download the app prior to your arrival. So sometime today, you will get an email from our friends at ARC who will be sending out a flyer that you can post in your schools. You're more than welcome to scan the QR code on the screen now if you'd like to. This will give you an opportunity to download the app. We recommend that your students download the app prior to arrival on site. And why do we do that? A couple of different reasons. First of all, sometimes your students may have, if they're using their personal cell phone, may have parental restrictions regarding download apps. So it's often best if they can try and download the app when at home, just in case their parent needs to intervene in order to download the app. The app is free on the web store. There's no cost associated with the apps whatsoever. We also encourage it because on the app is the schedule of events. So that way they can take some time ahead of time. You can take some ahead of time with their students to go through the different scheduled activities that are coming throughout the course of the weekend. and talk with them about where they need to be and when they need to be and all of that good stuff. They can, while they're on the app, add and favorite items, so that way it sort of creates their own custom schedule for the weekend as well. Keep in mind the app is sort of living and breathing at this point. We are still a month out, so we are still finalizing things like rooms. We're finalizing some of our workshop presenters and such, as well as getting all that voting delegate info up that will be on the app as well. So currently we have the bylaw amendments and the current bylaws are posted to the app, but you also still soon will see the profiles of our state officer candidates, as well as minutes and financial report and all that good stuff that a voting delegate needs during the business session. But again, lots of great opportunity to also, there's maps of the convention center as well as the hotel across the street that we do have some conferences in. So it's a good idea to help with lay of the land, especially if you've got students who are nervous about the location, sort of show them the maps that are on the app as well in order to help them understand what's in store for them for the weekend. So keep an eye open on that app as well. We will continue to update all the way even through the weekend of. We'll be sending out notifications as appropriate and such, and we'll be adding lots of things like room locations, especially for regional meetings, STAR events, as well as other general information throughout the weekend. So keep an eye open and encourage, please, please, please download the app now, between now and state meeting and all the way through state meeting. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, James, for those important updates. And please, please make sure you get that QR code to your students so they will be prepared. So just going over some highlights. You all have this on your calendar. I'm sure April 26th through 29th, we will be in Riverside, California for our 78th annual FCCLA State Leadership Conference. Some of our conference highlights include industry tours, leadership and career development workshops, our college and career show, region meetings, and of course, the icing on our FCCLA cake, our STAR events, competitive events. Also very popular, Cheerapalooza. That's where you can bring all your fun noisemakers, pom-poms, glow sticks to show your region pride as you perform your region cheer. Also, our fabulous FCCLA fashion show, which is comprised of our student competitors in fashion design, fashion construction, and recycle and redesign. We also have our finale, our banquet session, which kicks off our awards and say yes to FCS signing ceremony. So if you go to the link that I have provided, which is also on our California website, you will see our schedule at a glance. Sometimes events and times are subject to change, but all of this information, like James just discussed, will be populated on our conference app. And pretty much the schedule is similar. There are some changes that I'll be pointing out, but make sure that for Saturday, April 26th, our registration is open from approximately 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. There is, if you have state officer candidates, there is a state executive council rehearsal. So we want to make sure we have all of our, region presidents there in time for that state executive council rehearsal as they're working on their marching and carrying of their region flags. So if you have a region president or if your president is not able to attend, please have a designee representing your region. And then at 2 o'clock, from 2 to 3, we already have our state executive council meeting, our region coordinator meetings, and new advisor meetings. And we have region executive council meetings listed here as well. This is time for region officer teams to get together to meet. And there's also on Saturday a 4 o'clock STAR room consultant meeting to be aware of. Saturday 4:15 state officer candidate. And then dinner is on your own. There is a short nominating committee orientation, and then we kick off the conference at 6:15 for our opening general session. So I just wanted all of you to be reminded there are other meetings happening before the general session. So the rest you can review at your leisure, but at least just start to look at the time, so you can plan accordingly. California is a very long state. Think about driving time and make sure you are prepared to get there for all of those pre-general session meetings. This is the second page of that document, and here is where there is something new. You'll see on the left side of your screen a red arrow. So new this year, we will not be having region meetings on Saturday evening or Sunday evening as in years past. They have all now been will be scheduled for Monday morning. So this is very, very new to our schedule from 8 to 10 a.m. So at that point, that will be when every region will have their meeting to conclave to go over their business and also to install newly elected region officers, as well as do any regional awards. So this is just a really nice document to have on hand at all times. It was also hotel information listed here. And we've had this document posted to the website for several months, but just recently we did make this change to the Monday, April 28th date. So I just wanted to make sure you have the most current one at your fingertips. And if you are wondering where to find all of your state conference packet of information, if you go to our state website, the link is here for you, but you will see a drop down of all of the documents that will be very helpful. If you haven't already printed them out, I would just say sit by your computer and start clicking and printing so you have all of the information ready for your binder. So it lists all of the state meeting information, registration information. If your students would like to submit a workshop proposal, I believe we are still taking workshop proposals. Typically, region officer teams do this, but we would love to welcome any chapters that would like to do a workshop. Those are always fun to see what other chapters are doing. The baking and pastry and culinary arts recipes are also listed. And most importantly, I have the red arrows here to remind me, the FCCLA conference guidelines for conduct and dress, as well as participant conduct and responsibility sheets are also listed here. And I'll be talking about both of those documents in a moment, but I wanted to make sure you knew where to find them. There is also a lot of good information, advisors' duties, responsibilities, a sample parent letter. The fashion show flyer was posted here, as well as the new advisor workshop flyer. So a lot of information in one space on our website. So now going back and talking about the participant conduct and responsibility sheet. This document is very critical that you go to the website, you need to print it out, and you need to send it home to with your students and your members who are coming to state conference, because they need to read through this. I would say have the conference guidelines document as well as this document. Have your students and parents review both documents together. And it says this here. Member and parents must review the conference guidelines for conduct and dress. Any violation by the student will result in being sent home at parents' expense. Really important to share that information. It is unfortunate when these things happen, and we definitely want to hope it does not happen, but we need to bring this to your attention. And this document is due when you arrive to the conference. At conference registration, you must provide these documents to get your conference packet. So I really think this is important for you to know so that you can be prepared. And this
That is important to know. They didn't do that last year. I like that.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Michael. In piggybacking on that document, just to go over our SLC Code of Conduct and Dress requirements. For all general sessions, students are required to be in their FCCLA official uniform. And this is for all students and chapter advisors must be an official or will not be allowed into the general session. As I was talking earlier about traveling, if you anticipate that you're going to be late for the general session, I highly encourage you and your students to be in official dress before you get on the bus. Because if you do not have time to change, you may be late to the general session and you will not be allowed to enter. Last year, some schools were late and we had some situations that this year we will not allow students in or advisors. So you will be turned away at the doors if you are not in official uniform. So I'm letting everyone know that is the expectation, that we need to make sure we are all following the guidelines for conduct and dress. For workshops, tours, recreation, it's official casual. And we suggest our suggested attire for banquet and dance, formal, semi-formal, Sunday best, keep it classy and appropriate. I suggest, have your own SLC fashion show and have your students bring you so you can see what they're planning to wear for the banquet and the dance. Otherwise, they may surprise you, and the surprise may not be a good surprise. And if the outfit is not appropriate or it is too revealing, they will need to go change. And they may say, I have nothing else to change into. Well, they always have their official uniform, so they could change into their official uniform. If the dress is too low, too revealing, slit too high. Again, we want to be respectful to everyone who is in attendance. And it's just easier to tell your students, do not bring jeans, short skirts, short shorts. They may as well save their suitcase space because none of these things are allowed. So show them this video, show them this PowerPoint, and again, just remind them, please. And if they really need a visual, sorry, it's a little blurry. I don't know why it looks so blurry, but this is basically the idea for our general sessions. Blazer, black bottoms, white shirt, tie. The other choices are blazer, white shirt, ascot, black skirt, or blazer, black sheath dress, pearls, and you will see closed-toe shoes on all three visuals there. And I'm sorry, it's a little blurry. When I when I created the PowerPoint, it didn't look quite that blurry. So hopefully they can get the idea there. Okay, so in talking about state leadership conference registration, some of you, I'm hearing from your CTE coordinators. I got a couple calls today, and some of them were asking about purchase orders. So on our website, there is information about purchase orders. So because I have heard this question last week and now this week, there's some information here that yes, we do accept purchase orders. But the deadline date for purchase orders, or what we call pre-registration, is coming up very soon. April 8th is the deadline for what we call early bird registration. Basically, after April 8th, you have to do your registration on site, and payment and the late fee, the higher fee, because there is a higher fee after April 8th, must all be done on site. So if you have any questions, Maria Freitas is listed here. She is our financial services director, especially if you have questions about your purchase order. I advise you or your CTE director, please contact her directly. But again, we do accept purchase orders. And of course, April 8th is that registration deadline. And new this year, our board of directors, one of their wonderful executive decisions this year is to include the conference t-shirt with your registration. So if you are registered for full registration, you and your students will be given, you get a free t-shirt. The exception to this is those with single day or banquet only registration. So if you are just coming to the conference for one day or just for the banquet, then the shirt is not included. So for anything else that we offer with registration, and here is the design, the state officers and Tracy Brown helped to design for us. So we're really excited for our new shirt that again reflects our Dare to Dream theme. So if you have not been to state conference, just a little information. The closest airport is Ontario. Some chapters take the train if they find that is the best for them. If you are driving your private automobile, parking is $10 per day. If you are coming via bus, parking is available at the Riverside Convention Center, and Beth confirmed that price is $10 per day per spot. So this is the same as last year. Again, depending on how large the bus is, 5 to 6 spaces, the price could be $50 to $60, and parking must be paid with cash. So now I'd like to talk about your chapter management. So if you have not been to conference before, you will know you'll soon start collecting a lot of papers. I have a binder for every year I go to state conference myself. I highly encourage you to start with a binder. Get a binder, start printing out the documents that I just referred to earlier for your, especially the hotel information. You may need that hotel address. You may need that hotel phone number. So the more you can have in one spot will just help you to be more organized. So we really encourage you to keep a binder with all of your SLC materials. You may also need to include your hotel confirmations, your rooming list, all of your school permission forms. Keep it all organized together. Any other emergency or health information that your district requires, your student IDs, or at least copies of your student IDs. You just never know. So it's better to have everything than to have things not, if you have it electronic, that might not be helpful. So we really encourage you to have everything on paper. And this is where, again, that participant conduct and responsibility sheet. So you'll have your whole little section nicely tucked away in your binder, ready to hand over at registration. So hopefully this will be helpful for you to remember. And then each night in the schedule and also on the program, we kind of put chapter meeting space time there. It's really good after each day to meet with your chapter. Typically, it's in the largest room you can find. Sometimes the advisors choose to do this in the lobby of their hotel, wherever you can fit people. Just to go over, how did the day go? Do a check-in with your students. For many of them, this may be the first time away from home. We notice by the first or second day, they're kind of eating new foods. They might have some stomach issues. Just do a check-in with them. Here's where you'll want to have your wonderful Mary Poppins bag of maybe medications, Rolaids, Tums, prunes, you name it, extra pantyhose if the girls are choosing to wear them. Sanitary precautions, all those things. Advil, again, make sure that the students are allowed to take it. Your first aid kit, your sewing box with needles and thread. There's probably a list somewhere that we have at some point, just all the things. We will have a store there with some of these first aid supplies or sewing kits, but it's good to kind of start your own little kit if you don't already have one, and talk to other advisors who've been to state. If you know Maisha Pruitt, she's got the Mary Poppins bag. She always seems to have the cures. Your students' feet are you're gonna need Band-Aids. Most of the time they're wearing shoes they haven't worn before and they get blisters. They might need mule skin, things like that. Spend time preparing for the next day because the days are long. Most of them are not used to long days like they will experience at state conference. It's part of the experience. And so you really need to kind of take it day by day, recap, debrief about the day, plan what's happening tomorrow, make sure you know where everyone's going to be, and remind them that they must attend all planned events and activities. General sessions are not an option. They are all required. And again, the conduct reminders that any violation will result in them being sent home. And then just basic hotel etiquette, reminding them about elevators, to let people come off the elevators before they try to enter an elevator. Tipping at restaurants, behavior in general, just to be mindful of other guests in the hotel. and really realizing that every FCCLA advisor member and guest are representing California FCCLA as well as their school and chapter. So this year, I put new here because our pie in the face, I want to say this is maybe going to be our third year having the pie in the face, but this year, the new part is it's a fundraiser. So the fundraiser is now open to all members attending SLC, and this event will take place on Sunday, April 27th. It used to be only open to the first 3 chapters to affiliate, but now it's open to everyone. There will be 100 tickets, and the price is $10. So members and advisors can pie in the face any state officer of their choosing. And it is a fun event to watch, and I am so happy I am not on the receiving end of this. The state officers are taking it for the team. So this will be a fundraiser, and the state officers will determine how they're going to use the fundraiser. Maria, you can maybe remind me because I can't remember what the decision was or if they're still working it through, what the fundraiser will be going towards, but we will definitely let you know, and it's a perfect photo opportunity. And everyone enjoys the event. We will also be having our annual chapter pin exchange contest. So this is also another event, gets very competitive, especially when there is cash involved. Our sponsor is Pam Seamster. This contest is near and dear to her heart. She will be sponsoring $100 for the student who collects the most chapter pins. What is a chapter pin? It is anything you want it to be. So I am using this little example here, this Redwood Ranger. And I know it's a Redwood Ranger because I went to Redwood High School. And so your pin can be a mascot from your school. It could just be your school's name. It could be anything that maybe you have the coyotes at that's your mascot. Maybe your pin is a coyote. However, for the pin to count for the contest, you have to now look at the flyer because every year Pam decides what the criteria will be. So if the pin is going to be counted in the count, it needs to have the current year on it. So your pin needs to show our state 2025. We need to see the Dare to Dream logo and the name of your school. So those 3 criteria must be on the chapter pin. The rules are you can collect as many as you can. No repeats. So if you have 3 of the same pin, she will not count them. She will only count each one once. And if there is a tie, I've already talked to Pam. She says, if there is a tie, there will be FCCLA challenge questions, trivia. And that is how she will break the tie to deem the winner of this amazing contest. And it's really dear to her heart. I think it's dear to all of our advisors who've seen this before, because this is an opportunity for your students to meet other students from other schools and to talk, to meet someone and talk to someone that they don't know, to greet them, find out if they're exchanging pins. Now, we don't know for sure how many chapters are going to do this. We currently have around 80 chapters right now registered. Are all 80 going to bring pins? I don't know. We will say if your chapter wants to participate at registration, they will have a board where we will say, can you give us 1 pin so we can put it on the map, if you will. That way the students who want to participate know what they're looking for. So if you have a student who really this is their thing, you might tell them, well, bring 80 pins so you can find those 80 schools. They may have extras, okay, that they don't need, or they can trade amongst their chapter members. So it doesn't need to be, a fancy one. The one on the flyer is really like one that was for purchase, it's probably like a $4 or $5 pin. The ones you're making, you could probably make them for 25 cents, 30 cents. Sometimes they're on a little safety pin. Sometimes they're a little bit more formal. whatever you have, whatever works for you, but it has to have, again, those criteria. Current year, 2025, dare to dream somewhere on it and the name of your school. So we enjoy seeing those pins, and we definitely enjoy seeing the students get really excited about meeting students. I really get excited about the fashion show. If you know me, you know I really am excited for this. California was the first state to start the fashion show. We had a team of teachers. I'll say Miss Baker was amongst them. And we worked to create, first of all, the contest, and then it just became a big part of our state conference. And it's morphed over the years, but now it's really a way for us to showcase all of our student competitors' work in fashion construction, fashion design, and recycle and repurpose. The students must complete the form. The form is listed here at this URL. And if you've ever produced a fashion show, they are a lot of work. And we cannot have people coming in at the last minute wanting to enter, because the state officers have a very short window to work with the students, identify the students, and try to rehearse. And so they already have a list, they already have the scripts ahead of time, which is why we have this form. So we know what we're seeing, what will be described as a part of the fashion show. So please tell your students about this if you haven't already, and they must complete this form to participate. I've already seen some of our responses, and we have a good turnout so far. So many of you have learned, but again, if you don't know if your student has registered, first talk to them, check with them. You can also reach out to Tracy Brown, and she can confirm that we have their registration. But again, it's so much fun, and it's just wonderful to see. I'm now going to stop talking and pass it over to Bevan for the next few slides.
Wonderful. So just a reminder, I know many of you are veteran advisors, but if you know a new advisor in your region or have one at your school, we'll be having our new advisor workshop on the Saturday and Sunday of state conference. The Saturday is the majority of the in-classroom workshop, and Sunday advisors will be assigned to help with STAR events to see that side of it. So this is definitely a good opportunity. If you are bringing students, we moved it to Saturday, so you don't have to come as early, and you can still come and bring your students. So this is for any first year advisors, or if you're a second year advisor and didn't make it last year, you're still welcome to come. We currently have 10 advisors signed up, and we have room for plenty more. So if you are interested, when I send out this recording, I'll send the registration information. We will be wrapping up on Saturday by 4 p.m. So you'll have plenty of time to get registered for the conference and go meet your students. And the other announcement I have is we'll be having our Say Yes to FCS signing ceremony during the banquet session this year. So this is for any student who has committed to wanting to become an FCS teacher just like you. And this will be an opportunity for them to be recognized in front of their members for making this great commitment. We would appreciate all students signing up in advance. So I have a QR code on the screen, and you can also sign up on our CA-Teach FCS website. Just some basic contact info so we can get them information beforehand so they'll know what to do on the big day to get this recognition. And FCS TAC is sponsoring our signing ceremony this year, which we're excited to have that wonderful partnership with them.
Thank you, Bevan, for those updates. And now I would like to pass it over to Pat Peck, who will be now giving you all of our students taking action with recognition STAR, also known as STAR updates. Thank you, Pat.
Thank you, Melissa. We have more competitors this year than ever, and I'm really excited about that. We've been doing a few new things that I want to cover very quickly. But the first thing is, if you have any chaperones coming with you who would either like to be a room consultant because they're experienced and they've done this before, or if they would like to judge, This is the QR code to do that. So you can take a picture of that right now and then get those names in. We are still looking for lots of judges. So that's an important part of it so that our students do get 3 judges. Student ID is required for STAR. It can be either a current photo ID, a clear photocopy of an ID, or an electronic ID, because I know many schools have gone towards just an ID on their phone, and we will take that. You as advisors should keep a copy of the student ID in your binder that Melissa talked about, because they'll lose it. They could lose it, and you don't want them to be disqualified if they do. And this is one of the big DQs. So they need to have some ID on Sunday morning when they check in, and again on Tuesday morning when they check in. You do not need to add a copy of their ID to their file folder. Please don't. That's one more piece of paper that they really don't need there. This is the STAR address policy and checklist. This is listed in the general rules. You've seen it probably many, many times, but they cannot wear official casual for a STAR event. They must be in official dress. So be sure that you've gone over that checklist with your students. It's a white shirt, not a black one. You did see a picture of a black shirt, but that was really the black sheath dress that is part of the uniform also. But please go over this with your students. There will be a dress check before the competition and also prior to the award ceremony. Points will be awarded in the room consultant's summary and or deducted from the final score before the award ceremony. Sometimes places change because the students didn't dress appropriately on Tuesday morning. So again, we will do a dress check on Sunday morning before they compete, and again on Tuesday morning before the awards ceremony. To receive any award on stage, FCCLA members must comply with the official dress policy. This is a checklist that you can use. Again, if you have the dress check form, you've got it all there, and it can be found in the new the guidelines that we have, general rules for the STAR events. The blazer is required for state competition. There is a new blazer this year that National has been distributing. We'll take either one. So when it says FCCLA patch on the left pocket, that's for the previous years, but the new one has it up here on the chest up here. But either one is okay. Black bottoms, white top, black bottom, and then the accessories are as listed. Some students have to put a Band-Aid over something if they can't get it out or take it out. No visible body piercing other than the ears is important too, and not more than 1 earring per ear. This again summarizes what we've been discussing about the dress check. There is a point on the room consultant sheet where the points will be put in. Let's look at chef shoes right now, though, because that's really important. The shoes must cover the entirety of the foot to protect while in the kitchen, including the top of the foot. We don't want to have a knife dropped on them and have a problem. Shoes must be slip resistant, non-slip, in other words. They need to be leather in style, and that is in quotes, but there is no canvas allowed. And that is new from National this year, that there is no canvas or tennis shoes allowed in official dress or for chef shoes either. These shoes can be purchased at Walmart, local shoe clearance stores, as well as chef supply stores. Dress for STAR events is listed. Baking and pastry, culinary arts, culinary display, and salad prep may wear their chef attire to the STAR orientation and may also wear clean chef attire for Tuesday awards. Excuse me. Acceptable shoes are black closed-toed shoes, non-slip shoes, preferably leather or faux leather type. Canvas shoes, again, are not acceptable. This is a list of the STAR general disqualifications. We have advisors follow this very, very well. So we have very few disqualifications, and that's great. But please go over this with your students before you go to state. No photo identification submitted. That's a no-no. That's a disqualification, as I already said. They must adhere to the dress code policy. The name not listed on this room consultant's sheet is something that we will take care of, but they will all be there. They don't report to orientation at the scheduled time. They will be disqualified. They need to stay for the entire orientation. They need to bring all their supplies and equipment to the orientation. They need to be ready to begin when their name is called. And in many events, we will have a time schedule and we will post it outside the room as well as inside. They have to be there when their name is called. We usually tell about 30 minutes early and wait outside. They cannot present the same presentation as in a previous year. They cannot use live animals or fire as part of the presentation. They need to attend the STAR event check-in and awards ceremony. I've had questions about this. Please be sure that your students know they have to be there Tuesday morning for the awards ceremony, or they will get disqualified. And they cannot use a substitute to accept their awards. The required documents for every STAR event competitor are the permission form. Now, that's something that you as an advisor should already have taken care of. If they competed at region, then the permission forms are already in. Everybody turned them in this year. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Those who are competing at baking and pastry, chapter and review portfolio, and Parley Pro did not compete at region, and their permission forms must be submitted by April 15th. It is the same procedure as you did for region. You collect the permission slips, you put it in your management portfolio, your binder, and then you go online to the Google form that is listed on the California page, and you just say, I have all the forms. It could be that you are asked for a form at the competition, and you want to be able to produce that if you have it in your binder. Photo ID is required, as we said, and their conference name badge and competitor ribbon. If they lose their competitor ribbon, a new one can be purchased before they get to the check-in. So be sure that they have those and they know exactly where they are. Some suggestions: make a copy of each competitor's documents. Put those in your binder that Melissa talked about. Review the competition rules and outlines and everything before they get there so that you've had all of that done before you're ready to take off for the conference. When I was an advisor, we did a run through a week before, and students had to have all their paperwork. They did their competition. We had judges come in, for instance, the principal, parents, counselors, other teachers. It's a great PR trick for your competitions too. So you have that event and give the kids pizza that night. That's what we used to do. And then they will have feedback before the competition, and other people in your school will also know about the competitions. We want to show, let's see, we have a question. Yes, Tammy, if you already turned your baking and pastry forms in, just shoot me an email reminding me you've already done that, and then it'll be fine. If you've already turned your permission forms in, that is. Let's show our state evaluators our best student work. All students who are participating, who participated at region, have at least a minimum of 60 points, have them improve their competition so it's the best possible that they can do. The baking and pastry event this year is very, very popular. We again are using a commercial kitchen at Riverside City College. It's about 2 to 3 blocks away. And your students will not have to be carrying their equipment down there. Tiffany Fujita has offered her Suburban and her time to meet your students at the flagpole and then take all that down there in her Suburban. You will be getting an email about what time to meet and all of that when we get closer to competition. There will be 4 rounds this year. Your student only needs to be there for 1 round. They will be walked to the Riverside City College by an advisor who is an assistant room consultant. That assistant room consultant will stay with them the whole time. They will help out with the competition and they will walk them back to the flagpole. Each round will be 2 hours and 20 minutes. That is a little bit different than national because we are trying to get more students through the process. So that is a little bit of a change from what national says. Each student is responsible to bring 3 pounds of white icing, a dummy cake, and all of the equipment listed. The menu has already been published. It's a patachoux cream puffs with chantilly cream, cheddar cheese buttermilk biscuits, and a decorated cake. And again, the decorated cake can be a dummy, but they do have to provide the white icing for it, the white buttercream icing. And the recipes are on the California website already. For culinary arts, we have an incredible amount of students, just under 100 students qualified. And again, registration is still going on, so I can't tell you how many we have now, but we have a lot. So they will be the culinary arts event will be held at the Riverside Convention Center, the Riverside City College, and possibly one high school also. So there's more to come on that. As soon as registration is over, I will be sending out an email personally to every advisor with all the details. There are 4 rounds at both the convention center and the college. The first one begins at 6 a.m. Again, I will send an email out with all your times and schedules and everything else, so you'll get all that. In culinary arts, each competitor will have 2 burners, and they must bring all their other equipment. The menu is also posted on the California website, and it's a chicken breast with mushrooms, sauteed asparagus, and a long grain rice pilaf. And I do want to thank our culinary committee this year. They were outstanding. They tested and tested and tested recipes and rewrote. So they are perfectly clear. Nobody has asked me a question yet. So our culinary committee did a great job. Thank you. Culinary display, this is new this year. All competitors will turn their paperwork in at registration on Saturday. So be sure that your students have the following bulleted items there in their paperwork. A project identification page or a title page. It has to include the student's name and school. And then there's other information in the culinary display rules that needs to be on there. Things like what category and what level and that kind of thing. The FCCLA planning process summary should be in there. The evidence of the online project summary submission and a list of techniques used. Now, this again has to be turned in at registration. That will be reviewed on Saturday night. We have 2 advisors who are staying up very late to do that, which we hope will help the process move along on Sunday. They only need to have 1 copy. It needs to be stapled, and their name needs to be on every single page just in case that staple comes apart. So that will be required for all students in culinary display this year. That is new. Please, if you have any students in these events, double check that you have rules that are dated after January 8th. There were some revisions made by nationals, and I want to be sure that everybody has the correct set of rules. So if you have someone in food innovations, interior design, chapter in review portfolio, fashion construction, say yes to FCS education, personal finance, please be sure you have the correct rules. The STAR Events study guide is on the California webpage. This is only really needed for HTR, or Hospitality, Tourism, and Recreation, and Parley Pro. Those are the only 2 that have either a case study or an exam. There is an exam in Parley Pro. Okay. The frequently asked questions, I update every time I get a question. This year, I haven't had very many questions. But that will be updated again. The final update will be on April 15th. So if you have any questions, be sure that you ask before those. And you can just email those to me and I will take care of it. I usually email the advisor back who asked the questions, and then I post it on the website, or Tracy does, so that everybody has the questions and answers. New this year, we are moving towards how things are run at nationals. We are doing this because we have the largest number of competitors we have ever had. So in some events, we will have multiple stages of judging. That means we'll have 2 sets of judges, and I'll explain that in just a second. We will have a lead consultant who will assure that the same expectations of students are in each of the multiple station sections. And we will use Judge Pro they have a differential button that we can push to fairly compare the scores between stations to determine the winner. And we are doing exactly what national does. So your kids will be well prepared for national with this. These are the events that will have multiple judging stations. Now, how are we going to do that? Because we are literally going to run out of rooms if we do it like we've done before. So in these events, the ones with asterisks especially, they will be conducted. There will be 2 stations, for instance. In fashion construction level 3, we have so many competitors that we will have 2 stations, and they will compete in one station or another. The lead consultant will overlook everything to be sure everything is run correctly and fairly. And we will only have limited numbers of observer chairs in those rooms with the asterisk, because you just can't get that many people in a room, but there will be some observers allowed. In culinary arts and job interview, there and menu planning and table display, there is no observing during the competition. Now, in menu planning and table display, all of that will be on display later on. And in salad prep, we have something new this year. We're going to have the plated salads on display on Sunday afternoon, and there will be a location in the app for that, just so you can see what their knife skills are like and what their presentation skills are like. Okay. General reminders, please remember that all results presented at the state awards are final, and there will be an envelope in the registration room after the closing ceremony that you can pick up with any comment sheets that we have from the judges. Judges can either make comments online or on the comment sheets. So we will have comment sheets available after the closing ceremony, and those will not be mailed to you. So be sure that you pick them up within an hour after the closing ceremony. Thank you. Melissa or Bevan, somebody is advancing it, I hope.
Sorry about that. My screen froze. Okay, there we go. Oh,
Okay.
no. What happened here? Sorry about that. Everything froze on my end, but let me get back here. Thank you, Pat. Were those all your slides?
Yes. Oh, I have one more comment. I'm sorry. There will be a culinary arts Zoom orientation on April 16th, and you will all be getting an invitation to that as soon as registration closes. And that's for advisors and competitors. It'll be after school.
Bevan, I don't know what's going on with my.
I can share it for you.
Thank you. I don't know what's going on here. Thank you, Pat, for all of those STAR updates. There was quite a lot of new updates. It's great to know that we have so many students who qualify to attend state. On the receiving side of it, though, managing is a major undertaking. So Pat has been working with our board on strategies so that we can make sure we can accommodate all the competitors. So it looks like we're there. I think you might have to advance, Bevan.
No, I think I did not talk about that. Okay. Oh, I didn't talk about that either. Okay.
We were
special needs. If you have a request for accommodations, please send it to us by April 6th. And that is even if you ask for accommodations at region, you still need to ask again for state, because I don't always get those requests forwarded to me. Okay. All first and second place competitors in STAR events, the STAR events, not C-STAR, but STAR events will qualify for national. And new this year, in the events listed there, the first, second, and third place competitors are also qualifying for nationals. National is trying to broaden it and make more students eligible to compete at the national level. So you'll see some there that have only been first and second in the past. I think, Melissa, it's all yours now.
Okay, thank you, Pat, for that. And thank you, Bevan. for fixing the slideshow. So now we can talk about the National Leadership Conference. And yeah, some of us, we've already had to register. National Leadership Conference registration opened on March 1st. So you can still register. I know it's a challenge because we haven't even had state conference yet. And if there's a certain hotel you wanted to get at nationals, you really have to like register March 1st. So you for national registration, you have to go to the National Leadership Conference website. The conference is July 5th through 9th, 2025 in Orlando, Florida. And if you go to this link, all of the registration and information can be found. And you can advance. So I just did a quick screenshot for you. Because our state has a later date, we have a little exemption here for states with conferences on or after April 25th. You can still get early bird registration rate because normally it would end May 7th, but we get until May 21st because we have the late date. So even though it says early bird rate ends May 7th, because of we have this accommodation, you can still register until May 21st. That gives you a little bit more time to still get the better price. So there's a weekly registration for nationals. And then there is the packages. The packages include the regular registration, but then there are special events, FCCLA night at Universal and the Aqua Glow after party come with that registration. And then new this year is an ultimate leadership package, which includes everything prior, plus a princess sing-along breakfast and limited edition Rosie the Llama trading pin lanyard. So make sure you look at those. It's good to always plan ahead. I know you don't always know if you're going to have competitors, but if it is something you are planning to do, you want to register as soon as possible to at least try to get the hotel that you want. And also, in addition to the registration fees, there's also a STAR registration fee. So again, that early bird rate, again, our state meets that extended one. So STAR registration, non-refundable, you do have to pay. This is a separate national STAR fee. It's $55. The online STAR event round registrations have a fee, and then there's skill demonstration events. These are non-refundable. Sometimes since students, not all students can attend as a competitor. So Nationals does offer these other online options or skill demonstration events. These are not STAR events. They're different, and students do not have to qualify for skill demonstration events. You will need to go to the national website to learn about those events and to register for them separately. And there is space limitations and no state level qualification is needed. So they just list that for you as a reminder. So something new this year, when you go to register for national conference, you will have to volunteer. You, your students, even your chaperones. And because you can imagine with 10,000 students at a national conference, several thousand competitors, it's even harder to find all the evaluators needed. So the past few years, it's been a challenge. So this year, our SEAT team, these are state advisors who sit on this committee at nationals, and they've come up with a new process to run national events. So this will be the first year we do it. So California has been assigned to oversee the National Star event this year called Say Yes to FCS. So what does this mean? This means that I will be serving as the lead room consultant, and I will be needing all of you who are going to the national conference to sign up and let me know that you're going because we will need 7 to 10 chapter advisors or volunteers from our state to oversee this one event. So every state is going to be assigned an event. They basically want to keep our state teams together. Last year, there were a lot of people that did not show, people got sick. We were waiting for evaluators who never came, and it delayed the national events. So this year, their thought process was, okay, I know all of you. You know me. We already have a rapport. We already communicate a lot. So we should be able to hopefully run this event more efficiently if we all know each other, which is the theory behind this. So if you know you are planning to go to nationals, I've already talked with a few of you. I believe I already have 4 out of our 10 ready to go, but I'm going to need another 6. So we will need 7 to 10 total. And the state events were determined by our state's volunteer counts. So there was a whole formula involved for why we received this event based on the number of competitors last year. And also in realizing that the national volunteer ratio is about 1 to 3. I don't know why it says ration there, ratio, 1 to 3. So that's kind of typical. So we also in California, when we are thinking about all of the competitions, we know for for every one competitor, we typically are going to need, 3 volunteers, or one volunteer for every 3 competitors is kind of the theory here. So the more hands on deck, the better. So I encourage you, just let me know. And you might have already submitted a volunteer duty. Just realize that that will probably be canceled because these assignments have to come first. And your students, though, can volunteer to be a judge. They can be a student evaluator. Almost every event, they require a youth volunteer. So if there's an event your student wants to learn more about, I highly would encourage you to have students who've competed before, maybe a junior, senior level, although I've seen younger. But this is how we're going to be approaching national competition this year. So more to come, but let me know if you're going. If not, I will find you, and I will definitely let you know that we'll need you to help our California team run this event. And Bevan, you can go to the next one. Okay, so it's 5 o'clock. Yesterday, I sent out an email about our state bylaw amendments. So I hope you received the proposed amendments. They have also now been posted to our state website. So if you look at our website where the red arrow is, you will see the state bylaw amendments for 2025, as well as the California bylaws. And if for just a few minutes, I would just like to, maybe Bevan, if you can click on it. I just want to kind of show you an overview. We will be planning another Zoom meeting just to go over the bylaw amendments in more detail. I'm meeting with our FCCLA state officer team tomorrow. So we need to find a date on the calendar and a time that's going to work for all of them. But this is what it looks like. And the second page of the document really kind of goes over the rationale as to why do we have these bylaw amendment proposals? Well, first of all, last summer in Seattle, they had a major set of bylaws. I want to say over 23 bylaws. Some of them did not pass, and a majority did. And so with those passing, all states have now been mandated to have our bylaws streamline and align with the national bylaws. So that was one major rationale, so that we facilitate alignment with national bylaws and their policies and procedures to assure we are in compliance with current California law, that we're following policies of the California Department of Education related to CTSOs, and to set standards for operating our state associations that are in the best interests of the association and our California chapter members, advisors, and members. And then you'll see that the proposed changes are in red text. Any changes in blue text indicate that this is in compliance with California law or language, or text that needs to be removed to our policies and procedures document. Black text means these were the words from the previous set of bylaws, and there's really just being probably moved to be formatted into the national format style. And then any strike throughs would mean that all of that text would be deleted. And then once all of that is done, all the colors will be just regular black text. And then Bevan, you could just casually go through the rest of this. The rest of this you really do need to look through. So again, all of the red here on this first page were all national bylaws that passed. So these are just kind of no-brainers. They just, the mission statement, the purposes, these are exact to nationals. We just need to be in alignment here. So the goals and purposes from before need to be taken out. Then we had to format everything into the sequencing of the articles and the format style of nationals. All the is here in black was what we had before in our previous bylaws. So really it was, again, mostly formatting, moving things over. Because we have not had regional advisors, we again used to have state staff. We have not had regional advisors, at least in the last 10 years, I want to say. So that now seemed like a good time to remove that since we were not already following it. We added something here about post-secondary. We've had students express interest in wanting to stay active members of FCCLA, not only as alumni and associates, but in the post-secondary capacity, also maybe having a chapter at the post-secondary level. So we added that word. That's why it's in red. In letter H here, it's really just, again, formatting the sequencing, what used to be section 9 and 10 of the bylaws with all of this movement taking on. Now it's letters I and J for that section. You'll see another reference here to post-secondary. So we're adding that. Some more information here about post-secondary and decisions that either the board of directors or state executive council made in determining that post-secondary members are not eligible to hold state or region office, but are eligible to vote and participate in STAR events because there is a level 4 opportunity for post-secondary. But again, we needed to have it referenced in our bylaws. So our dues fiscal year budget, this came straight from nationals. So we're just plugging all of this in. Again, their titles in red. Here's a big change. Our state officers, and I know many of you have expressed this interest in being more aligned to national officer titles and duties. So we've had the same 6 positions for many, many years, probably since we were a charter in 1946, 47. So the time has come to completely align with nationals with our STAR, our state officer titles. So we have all 10 listed. And we have here the California Association may have up to 10. On any given year, we may have 10 candidates. All 10 candidates may not get elected. And in that case, some positions may have to be determined or merged. Maybe an officer might have 2 position titles. So that would be on the task of the nominating committee to determine. So these are all now listed. The qualifications are the same that were there before, but we had a lot of extra qualifications here that really probably didn't need to be referenced as they may be subject to change. So all of this blue text will go into policies and procedures. The rest of the section just kind of lays out what each of those vice presidents, the state president and each vice president would be at a kind of a glance doing. The next page is all the strikeouts from the previous positions listed, the term of office, just titles listed. Again, the black text was all there before. Our nominations and elections would need to change because now we would have up to 10 candidates. So we had to change our 6 to 10. Then we have some information here about our board of directors. So this is something new we have added. We've added some positions over the years. We feel our board needs more representation from business and industry. We've only ever had 1 business and industry partner serving on our FCCLA board of directors. So now our board could move up from 9 to 12, keeping in 2 additional business and industry partners, and then having our FCCLA board of directors past president stay on an additional year to help with any transition and also historical knowledge of past decisions. So those were recommendations. So that these are new from our current board. And then go ahead and keep scrolling. Here's just where it referenced the past board would stay on for an additional year to support the new board. Again, removing some language that we have not had an assistant state advisor. And then really this article 8 here is strictly national verbiage that must be added. And that's what nationals proposed and it was voted in. So we're in alignment here. The red is titles here are just, again, keeping in alignment and keeping in the section sequencing. The voting delegate amounts are all the same, so no change there. Again, the red are just new titles. The black is what was before, so no changes there. Here's some strikeouts, again, that I've already talked about, positions we have not had. And really the rest of this on ethics, conflict of interest, compensation, state student committees, chapters. All of this is information taken from nationals as best practices and what we as states should be having that we did not have in our bylaws. So again, this is just all new verbiage and policies and procedures to make sure we have note of that. And then especially for protection of our association and our board of directors having indemnification and insurance language in here. And this is California law being referenced. So this was really important to have in here as well. And then really the last sections here are all parts that if we have a state newsletter, that should go into policies and procedures. The section about amendments, we already had a section in there. So we are again here is just formatting. We kind of just updated a little bit of verbiage about parliamentary authority, but not too much, just a little bit of wordsmithing. And then this whole rest of the last section is just information to move to policies and procedures. So hopefully, not hopefully, please share this information with your voting delegates. The voting delegates will be voting during the business session. And we will be talking about this again in more detail on another call because I've already kept you after for 11 minutes. And thank you for those of you who are still on. But I just wanted to take some time to kind of go through some of the flow and give you some insight into it. We will plan a just bylaws Zoom. That way you have time to go over this with your voting delegates. They will have a ribbon. They will have special seating at the opening general session. And we want to make sure they are prepared. I know if you came last year, we only had 4 bylaw amendments. We did paper voting. We're not doing that this year. We are hoping to present this kind of as a package with our parliamentarian. And if the standing rules are passed and we're able to follow through, it could be a very short business session. But again, we want to make sure we have time to explain and answer questions more specifically and have more time dedicated to this. So thank you for staying on. Bevan, are there questions in the chat that I can try to answer? Or were we able to cover it? Let me see. I think.
Can we only ask questions in the chat or can we unmute and ask questions?
Let's unmute so I can see faces, please. Thank you. The time has flown. Who had a question?
I do. I have a couple questions actually. So if there's anything you want me to just like type into the question and answer thing, I'm happy to do that for time as well. Okay, my main question is on the when we signed up for the hotels, okay?
Okay.
I made a reservation for my students and myself with Denise for the Riverside Marriott. And then my CTE director called the Riverside Marriott and made reservations separate from me. Okay. And so then she paid for her the 2 rooms with a Cal card. And now she wants me to cancel my student rooms. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. So I just told her, I said, I'm not going to cancel anything until I talk to you guys. Okay. I don't know what to do.
Okay. Well, we have Beth Betancourt on and Tracy Brown. Beth may or may not be able to answer that question, but maybe Janet, you can put your email in the chat and Beth can follow up with you as soon as she is able to.
Okay.
And let you know what to do. So
okay.
we have it on record.
Okay. And then can I ask a couple more
questions? Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay. At regionals, advisors did not wear the red jacket. Can we wear a red sweater or are advisors required to wear the red jacket as well?
Great question. Advisors and members at state conference should all wear the red blazer.
Okay.
If you have one, I mean, it's encouraged. Every state does it differently. California, we take our pride in all wearing the blazer and we lead by example to our students. So if we all wear the red blazer and not something else, then they don't second guess it as to why we're doing it. This is the uniform. We all wear it proudly. We are very professional. So yes, the expectation is everyone at state conference during general sessions wears the red blazer.
Okay, perfect. I can do that. And then the next question is the black shirt that the kids get for registering, is
Uh-huh.
that a shirt that they can wear at the
Yes.
conference?
They sure can. They can, it counts as their official casual.
Okay.
So anything with our California logo, it's this shirt or even previous year's shirts or even a national shirt like the shirt I'm wearing right now. It's a polo. These are
Okay.
all examples of official casual. If they just have a red polo and it's just bare, they can wear that. It's FCCLA colors. You
Perfect.
just
Perfect.
want them to not, I mean, so they know there's a time for the uniform official and there's also a time for official casual.
Perfect. Thank you. Oh, one last show or one
No
last
problem.
question. And where can I find, you're recording the slideshow, so where can I find that?
Bevan, at the end of it, she will send out an email to all of you who registered with the recording and the slideshow. So
Okay.
you'll have the slide deck to show your students.
Thank you so much. I
No
am
problem.
Ben, and I will put my email in the chat.
Thank you, Janet, for those great questions.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Oh, and Janet, Beth Betancourt also put her email in here as well for you to reach her directly. And she cannot respond to any hotel questions at the moment. So if you can send her your email with your information, then she can forward it on to our hotel contacts as well and just kind of move it along faster that way. Any other questions? Okay, I think I'm kind of scrolling now that I can see all the questions that were in there. Will Monday morning region meetings be official or official casual? I would say official only because that's when the newly elected region officers will be elected and awards will be presented. And then I thought there was going to be a go change afterwards time frame to go change for the rest of the day. Maria, do you know the answer to this?
Yeah, I put it in the chat. So Monday meetings will be official casual unless they're a current or former or a current or newly installed region officer. Just so people stay there and don't have to don't leave before the tours and workshops, according to the board.
I know we discussed it. Some regions might want to do a region picture. I don't know. I guess it's subject to what your region wants to do and how fast students can get to their hotel, have their clothes to change. It's a new thing, so we'll see how it goes. I will leave that to the region coordinator and region teams to decide how they want to navigate that. But Tammy, do you have a
I do have another question. I'm not serving as the coordinator, but working closely with her. So Cheerapalooza, is that still on Sunday night? So like they can make arrangements to meet with their region like some other time to practice.
Yes, if depending on when the business session ends, if it's not a long business session, some regions may want to take that time to go have a conclave outside or wherever to do some practicing or on Sunday.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I thank you all for staying on. And if you think of your question later, just send an email and then we try to get the word out. As we make any new change, there's always some unintended consequences we may run into with region meetings now being different. But we had some issues last year with some region meetings going too late. Then they weren't able to get to the rec night. They missed out on food. So here we are. So we will do our best. And again, we always try to improve and make sure we have a wonderful experience for everyone is the ultimate goal here. We're daring to dream. And I'm so excited that we have region officer candidates for state officer, probably the most state officer candidates we've had to date, and all of the regions. Only one region is still working on getting candidates. So we're going to have pretty much 8 active regions again for next year, and our membership is growing. So kudos to all of you. Thank you for daring to dream with me. And I look forward to seeing you all at our state leadership conference. And we will get that bylaw amendment Zoom meeting day and time out ASAP. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Take care.